A drone attack on a base housing U.S. troops in eastern Syria killed 6 allied Kurdish fighters late Sunday. Today is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024, and this is the Dunkley Report. A drone attack on a base housing U.S. troops in eastern Syria killed 6 allied Kurdish fighters late Sunday. The U.S.-backed, Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces said Monday the attack hit a training ground at Al Omar base in Syria's eastern province of Deir el-Zur, where the force's commando units are trained. No casualties were reported among U.S. troops. An umbrella group of Iran-backed Iraqi militias, dubbed the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, released a video claiming responsibility for the attack and showing them launching a drone from an unspecified location. In late January, a drone attack by the umbrella group killed 3 U.S. troops and wounded dozens more at a desert base in Jordan. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is meeting with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince at the start of his 5th visit to the Middle East since the outbreak of the war in Gaza. He hopes to press ahead with a potential ceasefire deal and post-war planning, while tamping down regional tensions. But on all 3 fronts, he faces major challenges. Hamas and Israel are publicly at odds over key elements of a potential truce. Israel has dismissed U.S. calls for a path to a Palestinian state, and Iran's militant allies in the region have shown little sign of being deterred by U.S. strikes. Britain's King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer and has begun treatment. Buckingham Palace said Monday the cancer is not related to the king's recent treatment for a benign prostate condition. It did not say what form of cancer the 75-year-old monarch has. The statement said Charles remains wholly positive about his treatment and looks forward to returning to full public duty as soon as possible. He is being treated as an outpatient and will continue to undertake paperwork and other business as head of state. The palace said Charles shared his diagnosis to prevent speculation and assist public understanding of others affected by cancer. A storm of historic proportions has unleashed record levels of rain over parts of Los Angeles. The weather is sending mud and boulders down hillsides dotted with multi-million-dollar homes, endangering the city's large homeless population and knocking out power for about 830,000 people in California. Virtually all of Southern California was under flash flood advisories and watches. Between 5 and 10 inches of rain had fallen, and more was expected. The storm was the second one fueled by an atmospheric river to hit the state over the span of days. The Justice Department has proposed changes to rules governing state-run programs that provide financial assistance to violent crime victims in order to address racial disparities and curb the number of subjective denials of compensation. The Monday proposal from the Justice Department's Office for Victims of Crime is a major overhaul to how states across the U.S. currently handle victims' compensation claims, and comes less than a year after an Associated Press investigation exposed that black victims were disproportionately denied in many states, often for subjective reasons rooted in implicit biases that are felt across the criminal justice system. During years of scrutiny from prosecutors, Donald Trump has repeatedly sought to deflect attention from himself by making the personal lives of investigators ripe for derision and ridicule. He's jumped on allegations of affairs and repeatedly leveled claims of bias against agents, prosecutors, and judges. He's also been quick to exploit the sometimes questionable decision-making or occasional protocol breaches by officials investigating him as a means to discredit entire inquiries. The latest example came in Georgia, where he has mocked Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis amid revelations that she had a personal relationship with an outside lawyer hired to help lead the case against Trump and 18 others with plotting to subvert Georgia's 2020 election. A black woman and a group of 4 young girls who were wrongfully forced out of their car, held at gunpoint, and handcuffed by police in suburban Denver in 2020 have reached a $1.9 million legal settlement. A lawyer for Brittany Gilliam announced the deal Monday with the city of Aurora. Lawyer David Lane confirmed the settlement involving a confrontation with police, who mistakenly believed the car Gilliam was driving was stolen. The scene of the family lying face down in handcuffs caused outrage following racial injustice. Protests nationwide. The city confirmed the deal and said Aurora's police department remains committed to strengthening its relationship with the community. Russian media and rights groups say the first publicly known cases have emerged of Russian authorities penalizing people under a court ruling that outlawed LGBTQ+ activism as extremism. At least 3 people who displayed rainbow-colored items have received jail time or fines. Last year's Supreme Court ruling was part of a crackdown on LGBTQ+ people in the increasingly conservative country, where traditional family values have become a cornerstone of President Vladimir Putin's 24-year rule. There's no verdict yet in Michigan after the first full day of jury deliberations in the trial of a school shooter's mother. Jennifer Crumbley is charged with involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say she was negligent in 2021 before her son killed 4 students at Oxford High School. The school was concerned about violent images and desperate phrases written on Ethan Crumbley's math assignment. But his parents didn't take him home, and he was allowed to stay in school. Jennifer Crumbley is accused of making a gun accessible at home. No one checked Ethan Crumbley's backpack for a gun before the mass shooting. A handful of super-powerful tropical cyclones in the last decade has a couple of experts proposing a new category of whopper hurricanes. Category 6. Studies have shown that the strongest tropical cyclones are getting more intense because of climate change. So 2 climate scientists suggest Monday that the traditional 5-category scale developed more than 50 years ago may not do enough to show the true power of the most potent storms. They propose a 6th category of storms with winds that exceed 192 miles per hour. But several experts told the Associated Press they don't think another category is necessary. They point out that it's water, not wind speed. That is the deadliest element of hurricanes. Today's news was reported by the Associated Press. This has been the World News for Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Thanks again for joining us at The Dunkley Report.